Good morning, friends. Strictly Average here with your cup of average to be consumed with your cup of coffee. We are here on Friday after the SCG con weekend. This is my fourth episode talking about the con. Starting next week, I won't be beating you guys down with more conversations about the con, but for now, I just want to talk about a little something that came to my mind after being at the con and seeing how your everyday players and fans were interacting with the pros. I saw guys talking to Brad Nelson, Jerry Thompson, Kevin Jones, all weekend long. And these guys were trying to play their event, and they were just people just harassing them all weekend long with questions, with just, what do I do with my deck? What do you think about this deck? What do you think about that deck? What are you on? What's the best deck in the format? How should I play this? How should I play that? And truth be told, these guys are there. They're competing. They're trying to play. They're like, they go to these events and they are bombarded all day long with questions. And when I was talking to Brad, he was just telling me, he said, it's draining. I get asked a million questions a day. So instead of asking him, what should I have done after our match, I let him talk. I let him just say what he wanted to say. I gave some input, and I kind of let it go from there. Kevin Jones, when I met him outside, he was fantastic. I showed another video earlier about how I was joking around with him and made him laugh. And to be honest, I didn't know who he was. People kept on coming up to him and saying hi, and I had a feeling he was somebody famous, but to me, he was just another guy in the smoking area hanging out, relaxing between rounds. I just kind of urge you guys to remember that we're all there to play the same game. We're all there because we love the same game. And as a general rule, Magic players, we're nerds. And as we tend to all kind of be a little bit socially awkward in our own way. And sometimes we just want to be left alone. We just want to be left in our own world. And I'm not saying you avoid these guys when you're at tournaments. I say just don't be so aggressive. Don't, if you see somebody's in between rounds and they seem to be having a bad day, or they're having a great day and they're, 8-0 and they're like, hey, trying to just focus on the event, don't bombard them during rounds for silly questions. Just, read their articles. Chances are anything that you're asking, you're going to be able to see in an article anyway. There's some bigger, higher profile guys that I ran into at some GPs, like your LSVs of the world, or John Finkel's, David Ochoa's, guys like that. And you gotta kind of feel out the guy's personality. Finkel, when I met him in New York, he was in the VIP room, and he was playing the crowd all day long. He had kids approaching him, and at one point a kid came up to him and says, Johnny Magic, can you sign my mat? Finkel looked at him with a straight face and said, look kid, I'd love to, but you gotta earn it first. Let's sit down and play a match of Magic. When we're done, then I'll sign your mat. I mean, that was amazing. He was, he was at the event. He wasn't in the zone. He wasn't in the heavy competitive zone that he would be maybe at a pro tour. And he was having fun with it. So, approaching him on a day like that, where you can see him actively choosing to interact with other people, that's fine. Actually, I kind of laid off him hanging out in the VIP room all day long that day until I think it was going into the 8th or 9th round, whatever the last round of the day was. We were the only two guys left in the VIP room, and he approached me. He's like, hey dude, I heard this was your first GP, and I heard you're doing well, all your friends are out of it, and he's like, so how do you feel going in the last round? And it was just cool. It was just two dudes talking. I mean, obviously I did tell him that I'm a huge fan. I've followed him playing for years, and he was an inspiration to a lot of people, but I didn't harp on that. We just kind of talked about the game, talked about our days, and treated him like a normal human being, and it was fantastic. Now, a guy like LSV, on the other hand, he's a little bit more charismatic, I guess. He's a rock star of Magic pros. Is a huge fan following. People either love him or hate him. and he can't go anywhere without drawing a crowd. We were at the meet and greet before that GP, and it was an event designed to meet the pros. So we're walking around, we're meeting people, we're talking to them. Reed Duke was there. I got to meet Frank Lepore, who I'm a huge fan of, and that was a really awesome time. If you're an event like that was sponsored by Channel Fireball, then yeah, go around and talk to people and meet them. That's what they're there for. If somebody's not comfortable meeting fans, they probably won't be there at that event. Little segue to an LSV story and why, to me, he's one of the coolest and most laid-back pros who's just totally down to earth, is we were sitting outside the buffet line. I don't know, I can't remember if we were waiting for food or waiting for a drink, and he came walking by and he stopped and talked to us. So I introduced myself and I said, hey, I'm a huge fan, blah blah blah, I want to talk about the LR cast that he does and everything else. And he's like, looks at his watch and he's like, hey dude, I really gotta run, we're about to go record an episode of Magic TV, come hang out and watch it, and I'll catch up with you after. I'm like, alright, cool. So we went, watched Magic TV. Needless to say, he was pulled in 18 million directions afterwards, and I didn't get a chance to talk to him again. I brushed it off as, he's a busy dude, didn't hold it against him. The next day, at the GP, hanging out in the lounge, I'm at the water cooler, and he comes up to me and he puts his hand on my shoulder and he says, hey Jeremy, I'm really sorry I didn't get back to you last night. I just got tied up. I apologize. I hate to tell somebody I'm going to get back to him and leave him waiting. And then we stood there and talked for a few more minutes. And it meant so much to me that he addressed me by name and says, I'm sorry I blew you off. He doesn't owe me an apology. He's freaking LSV. So that just showed me what kind of guy he truly was. And again, I guess the biggest takeaway from what I'm trying to get at is all these guys, even though we may read their articles and see them on the Pro Tour and watch them on Twitch, they're normal dudes. Treat them like you would one of your buddies. If your buddy's having a bad day, he's having a bad spell at the tournament, put him at arm's length. Let him be for a little bit. Or if your buddy's having a great run, congratulate him. But don't just get up in his face and try to throw him off his game. We're all there to play. And if you wanna ask somebody questions about a deck, hit them up on social media. If they don't answer, they don't answer. But don't sit there and whip out your deck and say, hey, what do you think about this deck? Because you know what? I guarantee you these guys have sent thousands of deck lists a day and asked millions of the same questions over and over and over again. And that's why they reach out and they run streams and they write articles, because they try to answer those questions. Now me, on the other hand, I'm not a celebrity. I'm just your regular old strictly average Magic dude trying to create some content that you guys love. So feel free to reach out to me. Let me know how I'm doing. If you like the videos, if you hate the videos, what I can do better. If you don't like looking at my ugly face, if you want me to put a little cat up on the screen while I'm talking, just feedback is great. Hit me up on Twitter, Facebook. Both links are in the show notes. And other than that, I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy whatever event you are heading off to this weekend. I know GP Vegas is going on. I'm not going to be there. I'm going to be halfway. I'll be out in Kansas for the weekend. I got a little acquisition to make and some new stuff going up in the store. Some really, really sweet stuff. Wish I was happy about it. I'm not. I'm kind of sad about it. When you see a bro you love getting out of Magic, it breaks your heart. I'm just thankful that he's choosing to go through me to move his product. Gives me a chance to put some really sweet pieces of history in the hands of people that I know will enjoy them. Anyways, that's it for this week. We will be resuming on Monday. Try to expect me to be getting out 4 of these a week. 5 with my day job seems to be a little bit tight. And as of this week, this was only the 4th this week, and I did 4 last week, and 4 seems to be about the break spot. So, guys, have a great day. Talk to you later.